eh. Nasira. In short, they cannot fix it. So I said, so what will we do? Sabi niya, but sir, tinawagan na po namin yung boss namin. And he actually sent to us this white long limousine that you can use. Sobrang haba ho ng limousine. That is the first car that I saw na sobrang haba. Sabi ko, may kotse pa lang din yung kahaba. It was so long. It was all white. And the last thing that I know, I'm inside the limousine. And binuksan ko yung roof, yung bintana ko sa roof. I was standing there and waving to every single person that I see in the street. As if telling them, this is how great my God is. The Lord never forgets. The Lord knows our deepest desires. Just like these kids, I love to see Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. I would always wonder if they are soft and cuddly. I would always wonder if they're big or small. And I said, Grace, mag-honeymoon tayo sa Hong Kong. And in Hong Kong, we will go to Disneyland. I handled Hong Kong for almost 4 years. So I have so much friends there, the way that I have so much friends here in New Jersey. And they say, Pat, pag kinasal ka, we'll take care of your honeymoon. I stayed in a 5-star hotel in Hong Kong. Imagine, stayed in a 5-star hotel in Hong Kong. But I remember that day that I told Grace that today we will lavishly spend. I will spend every single, yung binigay ng mga ninong ko, every single money in my pocket today in Disneyland. I want to see if Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck is soft and cuddly. We were in the Disney train, and we were taking pictures one at a time. I pose, she takes picture, she posts, I took picture. And then this one person approached us and told us, Pat, sabi niya, are you in honeymoon? I said, yes. Can I take your picture? Of course. Good idea. Take my picture. And I remember going down the train, he approached us again. And he told us, are you in honeymoon? Yes. And he said, today, I will take care of your entrance fee. I don't know this person. And after paying the ticket, I never saw him again. And the last thing that I know, I'm jumping up and down inside Disneyland and hugging every single creature that I saw inside. They say it's coincidence. But as far as for the person that knows that God is at work, it's not coincidence, but it is God's hand at work. Why? Because God knows the deepest desires of our heart. So more than anything else, we delight first before we desire. So that if things are not desirable, we are always of thanksgiving and grateful of the things that God is doing us. You're lucky because this weather is cold. Because there are a lot of people dying in the heat. You're lucky because you have houses because people in Japan don't have. You're lucky because your kids have wonderful clothes because a lot of kids outside this country doesn't have what they have. You should be lucky because you have the problems that you have right now. Because if not because of that problem, you're not here today. You should always be grateful. We should always be thankful because God knows anyway what's inside our hearts. And remember, the Lord never forgets. The Lord never forgets. So we are entrusted by the flock. We are entrusted by a flock. Anything of entrusted is of great value. Anything that is entrusted is of great value. I owned an old Pentium 3 Dell. My old Pentium 3 Dell, whenever I bring it out here in the US, a lot of people, yung mga tao in my sa paligid ko, is always disturbed. They would always say, Pat, baka you need to change your laptop already. And I would always say, walang pakialaman kasi this laptop is still useful. I would confuse my Dell laptop to a Mac laptop. What does it mean? I put a Mac sticker on it. And every day I will tell him, you're a Mac, even if you're not. Every day. I would always use that laptop wherever I go, and I would proudly bring it out and tell everybody that just like you, I have my own laptop. I put a lot of stickers on it. I put a shell sticker, every single sticker, because it has so many scratches. And I remember, my laptop should always be plugged, because if you don't plug it, 2 seconds, it dies. But you see, when I was attended the CFC conference in Washington, in Maryland, on our way back here in New Jersey, we took the train. I plugged my lovely laptop in the socket in the train. It burst! Sumabog! Pagsaksak ko, sumabog! Sabi ko, so how will I use this laptop? So I was thinking here in New Jersey, you can fix anything. But it's not. Here, you don't fix, but you throw. Sabi lang, Pat, you throw your laptop? Sabi ko, I cannot afford to throw my laptop because this is my only laptop. And in the Philippines, we can fix anything. We can jailbreak every single iPhone that you have. I bring it in Green Hills, somebody can fix it. And the best part is that the one fixing it are undergrads. They're the people that just open things and try to evaluate things at that particular time and fix everything. And they get Sabi ko, just bring this home and I'm sure somebody can fix it. But you know what happened? A group of brothers chip in a certain amount of money. And because it's close to my birthday, they say, we want to give Pat a nice birthday present. And you know what's the present? They gave me a MacBook Pro. And they sent it to the Philippines through one sister who is an SFL. But this sister said, Pat will not accept that. You don't give me something that is so expensive. I won't accept it. Of course, nahiya. Hindi pa makapal ang mukha ako. Nahiya. You feed me, that's fine. But you give me something, I'm sorry. Especially if it's a MacBook Pro, I won't accept it. Then she said, Pat will not accept that because that is so much. The money, the amount that you give is so much. You sell it to him in an amount that he can pay, and he will accept that. You know what they say? Alright, we're selling this for $1. That's 43 pesos. I bought my MacBook Pro for $1. Brand new. And now I'm using it. But you know what? I always take care of my, I bought a nice sleeve na fur yung inside. That whenever you put your hand inside, you would feel the softness of the sleeves. Why? Because I know that the Mac deserves it. So I go, MacBook Pro, you deserve this. Alagaan ko mabuti kasi binigay ito ng mga tao na alam ko, na-recognize nila yung blessing ni God sa kanila. And because they were able to recognize God's blessing in them, they were able to be a blessing to me. And because they are a blessing to me, and I know that that is something of great value, then I look after it with care and with stewardship. I use it for mission. But I always look after my laptop. Well, because I know that something of great value is entrusted on me. But just like my MacBook Pro, nothing compares to the people that we handle, of course. But the Lord said, anything entrusted on us is of great value. Only important things are entrusted to someone. So the people that you handle are of great value because only important things are entrusted to someone. Your spouses are of great value, whether you like it or not, or believe it or not. Yes, they are. They are of great value because the Lord, when you prayed at that moment and asked for a partner, the Lord prepared your spouses for you. And they are entrusted to us. And since it is entrusted to us, they are of great value. You just don't let them wash the dishes all the time. You just don't let them wash your clothes all the time. Sometimes you cook for them. Sometimes you caress them in their backs. Sometimes you give them flowers. Sometimes you give them that sweet kiss as if you are boyfriend and girlfriend. Sometimes you hold her hand as if it is the last time that you will hold her hand. Why? Because something of great value the Lord has entrusted to you. Amen? Amen. Now, to be entrusted by God, give me 15 more minutes. To be entrusted by God, to be a shepherd is a privilege and a gift. And if that is the case, what should be our posture? First, we should be grateful. We should be grateful. We should be thankful. Second is, be a responsible steward of this gift. We are all seniors of this community. The Lord gave us the opportunity to look after a flock. Despite our sinfulness and our nothingness, the Lord used us. And if that is the case, then we become responsible stewards of the gift. Responsible stewards of the gift. And lastly, we take care of the flock. We are called to be pastors of our flock. And our task is not just to look after them, but to be totally accountable to them. You don't handle your household just for the sake of handling it, but you are accountable to your household. And that includes the time that you spent with them. I used to handle a household of brothers. And I tell them, when temptation comes, you run away. But if you can't run away, you call me. I will pick you up wherever you are. And I remember one instance, a brother at wee hours of the night called me and told me, Kuya, I'm actually at the doorstep of a hotel. I don't know what to do. Sabi ko, ano what to do? You run away. Kuya, I can't run away. Sabi ko, stay there, I'll go there. Pupunta ko talaga ako. And I grab him in his collar and pull him away out of the hotel. That was wee hours of the night. I could have just slept and not answered the call. Gabi na eh. But a brother calling and into a great temptation, and I can't afford to see him falling apart because of such temptation that I failed to respond on. I went out of my home, get inside my car, went to that motel, and pull him out of that hotel. Why? I am accountable to you. I am accountable to you. We are accountable to one another. This small group of seniors here in New Jersey, we are accountable to one another more than anything else. It means that we are entrusted to do the work not only for anything else, but for God's sake. We are entrusted to do the work for God's sake. So if that is the case, it is not out of obligation, but willingly for God's sake. You are not a household servant out of obligation, but you do it out of God's sake. I'm not a missionary and I have to do this, not for anything else, but I do this for God's sake. I remember Tom Park telling me this afternoon, he was telling me, do you really have to be in those meetings? The past days has been so tiring. I'm moving from here and there. Last night I got so sick. And 10 p.m. ng gabi, I decided to go straight in the bed from a meeting, from a fellowship with kila Kuya Chris. I felt so weak. Maybe because fasting is getting into my body system now. It's been almost 2 weeks of not eating the things that I used to eat. And I felt that my body is not anymore cooperating. But I said, I have to do this because this great sacrifice of giving something for the Lord. And sabi niya, do you really have to be in these meetings? Sabi ko, I said, yes. And he said, why? Are you obligated to do it? I said, no. Because I felt that what I do is a privilege. What you do is a privilege. And the Lord made me a missionary. And I'm one of the few people called to have this kind of life that is simple, life that is devoted to God, life that doesn't have much. Not everybody has this kind of life. So I thank the Lord for a life that I have now. And my way of thanking Him is to do and to give to Him what is due of Him. And that includes recognizing that what we do is not for anything else, but it is for God's sake. Being good spouses is not just an obligation that we do, but because we are grateful and we are responding from that gratefulness that God has blessed us with someone. So if that is the case, we give our excellence to God. Excellence, when you talk about excellence, sometimes it's always connotated to perfection. You will never reach perfection. Excellence is not about perfection, but it's all about giving your best. You will never reach the perfection, but you can always give your best. You can always give your best. You examine your level of commitment. Pag tinanong ko sa inyo how important your work is to you, I'm sure you'll tell me, Pat, very important. Why? Because of our work, we get to pay all our mortgage. Because of our work, we get to send our kids to school. That's all right. But if I tell you, why is it in household meetings you are late? Why is it in chapter assemblies you are late? Why is it when there's opportunity to serve, you say no? Isn't it is also important to you? Remember when you don't have work and you prayed for work, God answered your prayer? And now you said, Lord, I cannot go because I'm busy with my work. If that is your posture, then shame on you. Why? The Lord answered your prayer, and here you are putting Him at the last part of your list. Come on! You cannot pray in the morning, prayer time, because life here in the United States is busy? Of course not. There's always time. You need to go to work at 7, you wake up at 6. You don't shower every day. Here? I know it. You correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't shower every day. You have so much time. What's 15 minutes to be devoted in scripture reading and thanking the Lord for another day? What's signing the cross before going to bed and thanking the Lord for a wonderful day, whatever this day is, whether it's bad or not so good, you recognize God. When we have nothing, we bask in God's presence and ask the Lord for everything. But the Lord answered, and here we are, not doing and not giving what is due of Him. Why? Because I am busy. Sometimes we need to examine our level of commitment. Tito Frank would always say about this, and a lot of times we got pissed off hearing him over, even if you don't tell me, I know it. You get pissed off every time he talks about commitment, every time he talks about faithfulness in the covenant, every time he talks about veering away. These are the things that we always hear every single day that Tito Frank speaks. Ako, every single meeting that I saw him, he always reminds us that we are falling short of what is expected of us. And sometimes I wonder why he always says that. Maybe because we are really falling short of what is expected of us. So sometimes, brothers and sisters, especially as seniors, we are seniors of this community. We should examine our level of commitment. Being a pastoral missionary worker doesn't say that I should be more committed than you. Of course not. All of us needs to be more committed, more than anyone else. Why? Because all of us are missionaries. The blessings that I receive is the same blessings that you guys receive. The life that has been, the way the Lord has changed me is the kind of changing the Lord has made in your life. And I just believe that the Lord deserves what is due of Him. We are entrusted to do the work with a shepherd's heart. 1 Peter 5 verse 2 it says, do your work not for me,